AT&T, count your days. All right, friends, I'm back. Listen, I sang a whole gospel hymn. I shall not be moved. Anytime I'm trying to get a word out and stuff happens like this, I just feel like that's all the more reason why I got to get the word out. This is my third attempt. This is and I am not deterred. Okay, okay. See if you can refresh your brain. I'm not deterred, family. I'm gonna wait a little bit for people to get up in here while I check and make sure that I'm actually live. Y'all tell me in the chat if y'all can hear me. This is my third attempt. And I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the. Okay, hey Alicia. I am back, girl. The devil don't want y'all to get this word. He don't want y'all. Okay, what was the last thing you heard me say? Because I was going in. I was fully into my story. Let me just start with the edited version. Or should I do the full version? Okay, I said the first thing I said was I apologize for my absence. I thank y'all for rocking with me still. Okay. My last 2 weeks have been full of travel, exciting travel, right? Not even like I feel renewed and restored because of the last 2 weeks. It wasn't draining in particular. Okay. So 2 weeks ago, went to the Shackley North American Conference in Chicago. Was great. Shackley launched some new products that I can't wait to share. While I wait on the people to come back, if they gonna come back, YouTube is playing with me. Okay. This was one people been asking. Okay, this will be available in October. This is their sparkling protein drink. Okay, and it is not even available to the public. This thing will not be available until October. And but until then, if you are an ambassador, there are ways that you can get it. So if you want it, become an ambassador, you can join my team. I'm gonna drop the link. You can join one of my team members. They came out also with a sunscreen. They're also coming out with a protein shot in January. And right now they have reformulated the Life Shakes. So the difference between the old Life Shakes and the new ones is the new ones have no sugar. Okay. So we can kind of get behind that and say that it's okay to have because it's sweetened with monk fruits. No substitute for God's food. Okay. No substitute for eating God's food, but I have enjoyed them. They were beneficial to me in my traveling because I drove to Dallas. So on my way to Dallas, I just mixed up my Life Shake. Didn't have to stop at Buc-ee's or none of those weird places, and get the weird things that the people be getting, and didn't feel tempted. Drove to Dallas, which was a 6-hour drive for me. And when I got, hungry or wanted something, I just sipped on my little protein shake, and it lasted me all the way until I got there. Right. And then I did the same thing on the way back, and I did it at the event. So Shackley has a bunch of new stuff. I'll drop the link for one of my team members because I'm reaching a point where I don't need any new people. So I'll find a link to drop if y'all want it. But yeah, it's been great. So after that, I went to a business accelerator in Dallas with two of the best business coaches on the planet. That is Words Taylor and Tiffany Haynes. Okay. And it was glorious. It was amazing. I learned so much, and I have some new things I'm about to launch in both of my communities really soon here, probably towards the end of the month, because I have some behind the scenes work that I have to do before I can do that. But yeah, it's been a great time. So I made it back Sunday. I made it back Saturday, late Saturday night. And yeah, this ain't even what I came to talk about, but God just told me to share this. Okay. I was on my way back. I was on I-20 east, heading on I-20, and traffic, probably about an hour and a half into my drive, traffic came to an abrupt stop. And I'm like, baby, I don't got time for this because I left the event early so I can get home. And said, I do not have time for this. Okay. And what happened was the highway was completely shut down because of a horrific, this is what the news media said, that it was a horrific accident where 4 or 5 people lost their lives. And I remember, like, in my humanness, I was like, what is happening? I got to go. And I was just so thankful to God that, I missed whatever happened. Like, I'm thinking, had I not stopped at Buc-ee's, I would have been a part of whatever was taking place. So anyway, I just said all that to say, like, just be careful how you look at like your perspective on things, because in our humanness is like this could have been an inconvenience, but I was perfectly fine sitting on the interstate in the land of the living and just waiting to find my way home and be safe. Okay. So it's really about perspective. That's all I wanted to say. Cause I in my humanness, I initially was like, I got to go. So my 6 hour trip turned to an 8 hour trip, but I made it home Saturday, extremely tired, used yesterday to rest, and I feel amazing. Okay, so now here's what we want to talk about today. As promised, and I'm gonna get this out. I want to share with you how I got free from toxic habits that blocked me losing weight for so many years, right? For 15 years, I would every year start the year saying I'm gonna lose 50 pounds. That was always my goal, right? So it's not because I didn't have the desire. The truth is the thing that was getting in the way was these little bitty things that I was doing every single day. All right. And so before I like break it down to you and tell you what I did to get out, I want to kind of break down some of these words because words are important. And when I'm talking to people every day, I hear people say things without really thinking about what it is that we're saying. So I want us to be aware of the words that we use because we have to give an account to what we're saying. Okay. And so the word says that if you actually believe, so when we read it, we say like life and death is in the power of the tongue. You can have what you say. And you have to also be careful how you interpret that because really, if you really take the time to study Mark 11:23, it says like if you actually believe in your heart, like there's no doubt in God that what you are speaking is possible for you, and you believe that you can have it, not because of you, but because God's power is unlimited, and your desire lines up with his will, then you're going to have it. All right. So it's a lot of nuance in there that we don't particularly say, right? We think we just say it, it's going to, so it will be. And that is not what the word says. It says like if it's in his will, all right, and we recognize that it's through his power and we doubt not, then we're going to have it. Okay. So we have to know that, but we have to be aware of what we're saying, even in everything we're asking God for. All right. So even when we say death and life are in the power of your tongue, it's essentially saying that our words have consequences and they are powerful. They either help or hurt things. They either destroy stuff or like build things up. They either blow up relationships and situations, or we heal the people who are around us. So we got to watch our words because the truth is God can hear what we say and we got to be accountable to him for what we say. So I want to make sure you know what you're saying when we say toxic habits. All right. So habits, first of all, are just the things that you do every day. Habits are the things. So I want you to think about the things that you do every single day that are your default and your autopilot way of being. Most people don't say, okay, good morning. Let me get out of the bed and put my feet on the floor. Let me walk to the bathroom. We're not thinking about it. All right. Because we have done it a certain way so many times, we do it and we don't think. Now, the way that you've done it is going to typically determine how you do it. So if you always wake up, roll over, grab your phone, get on Instagram or whatever your, social media addiction of choice is, and scroll, and then you get out the bed, you're going to do that and you're not getting on, you're going to find yourself doing it and you haven't even given it any thought. You haven't given it any thought at all. If you wake up and you talk to your father or you pray before you ever come in contact with emails, text, social media, anything, you're going to do that without giving it any thought. Okay. So I just want you to know the habits are what you do every day on default. You don't think about them. But what makes them toxic is that they are poisonous, meaning they poison your dreams, they poison your success, they poison your results, they poison your progress. Okay. They are harmful. So toxic habits are bad for you. They keep you from having the thing that you could have that's in God's will for you, and he can help you achieve through his power. These habits keep you from having them. So the habits are they're harmful, they're not good, but they're also pervasive. The word pervasive just means like it's everywhere, it's widespread. So I want you to think of it as it's normal, it's common. Everybody does it. So rolling over, grabbing your phone, That's normal. Most people, a lot of people do it. Nobody would find it strange that you did that, right? Going to Starbucks or wherever to get your coffee to start your day, that's pervasive. Nobody finds it strange that people do that, right? Nobody finds it weird that people have coffee and a bagel with some cream cheese on it. For that's it's pervasive, okay? But it's something that is a habit that people do without thinking. My daily Chick-fil-A habit was on autopilot, okay? And the line was long, so it was pervasive, okay? So these toxic habits are everywhere, they're normal, and they're insidious, meaning they are subtle, meaning you might not notice them, you'll miss them if you're not paying attention. And so I need you to know this because the definition of a toxic habit is something that you're doing every day without thinking, that's everywhere, it's small and it's subtle and it's destroying your results. All right? You're doing it every single day. You are not thinking about it, and it's poisonous to your progress. And because it's so widespread and normalized, you don't always notice it. I did not notice when I had my daily Chick-fil-A habit that this was the reason I was having ocular migraines. So because it's so subtle, you will miss it if you are not careful. The indicator that you're doing it, though, is the fact that you have no results and no progress. The fact that you've been doing something, working, giving your time, energy, and attention to something, and you have not seen any results. You have not seen any progress. So the 15 years that I spent asking God to help me lose 50 pounds, all right, whole time I have toxic habits that are getting in the way. All right. And I'm sharing this with you because I know you do too. All right. And I know what to look for because I had them as well. So you'll know because there's no progress. You'll look up and years later, nothing has changed. You're going to be in the same place or worse off than you were last year, the year before, the year before, the year before, the year before. All right. So it's so small and it's everywhere. You don't recognize it. It could look like telling yourself you're going to eat 2 Oreos and eating the whole row. It could look like that. It can look like going to the party, and because everybody is eating XYZ, now you do it because it's everywhere, it's normal, and it's just a little cake. We're here to have a good time. We should be able to have a little cake, right? It's also the nasty things you say to yourself. I'm never gonna, I'll always be this big. You never act right. You have no willpower. You know, the ugly things you say to yourself that you don't check you about talking to you like you talking to you. Those things. That's a toxic habit. All right. Saying yes, my little people pleasers. Saying yes when you really is like, heck no. Okay. When you don't want to do it and you say yes, that's a toxic habit. And so the point I was trying to make is that these things accumulate over time. They build on each other and they add up. So you don't notice it because telling your friend yes when you mean no today, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. You did it. The deed is done. You've helped out. You're a great friend. You got your external validation that some of us feel like we need, and you go about your business. But when you couple that with the cake at the party, because everybody's doing it, and you couple it with the little something sweet at 10, 11:30 at night, and you couple it with the eating ice cream because I had a bad day, and you couple it with talking crazy to yourself about what you haven't done, now what you have done is completely wrecked your harvest. You've completely wrecked your success story. You have completely eliminated the very changes that you are praying God will make happen in your life. All right. And the wild part is they are routine. You don't question it. Instead of questioning it, we say, I guess this is how it's going. We start to settle. We start to accept. This is how it's going to be. Maybe I am supposed to be, when I was overweight, we would say it nicely. We'd be like, maybe I am just thick. All the women in my family are thick or big bone. Maybe this is how it's supposed to be. After you have kids, you never lose the fupa. And we just start to accept it. When you menopausal, it looks like this. And we just start to accept it. And I'm saying that over time, if you keep accepting it, you will start to think, this is how I am. And I'm telling you, it's not. This is not the way that God designed you. This is not how you are. This is not who you are. It is what you have practiced. It is what you've done over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Hey, Miss Joyce, it's the pattern that you have repeated. It's the thing that you have done so routinely that you do it routinely. It's not who you are. You are not lazy. You are not smart. You are not incapable of losing weight. You are not without some inkling of self-control. You are not so far that you can never return. You are not these things. You have practiced these behaviors for so long that you've just started to settle for where you are. So my news, I got good news. Whatever you have continually practiced, you can practice your way, you can unpractice. You can practice your way out of that thing. You can practice going to people's events and just being at the events and fellowshipping with the people and being okay, fellowshipping with the people. You can practice that. You can practice going to the movies, and going to the movies do not mean you got to get popcorn every time you go. It don't. You can practice it. You can practice getting up in the morning and instead of grabbing your phone, talking to your father. You can practice moving your body every day. And the more you practice it, the better you get at it. Anything you've been doing, you can stop doing. Anything you've learned, you can unlearn. But before you can do any of that, you got to call a thing a thing. You got to call it what it is. So you have to be able to be mindful. You got to recognize these little bitty things you do without thinking on autopilot, like a default setting, that are keeping you stuck with the same goals that you had in the 99 and the 2000s. The same goals. And you have to do that so you can get free. So you can finally start to break free. So tell me the truth in the chat. Say it's me, Tucker. How many of y'all been snacking out here in these streets, snacking on autopilot, and before you know it, you look up and you done ate the whole bag? Who has done that? I know I have. I always about to eat some Oreos, and I would always be like, I'm just going to get a couple. I would always start right in the middle. Middle roll, middle cookies. Grab about 2 or 3 of them suckers and go sit down. Come on, Jerry. Go sit down. And then about 10 minutes later, come on, Kathy. About 10 minutes later, I'd be like, you know what? I just had 3. I could get a couple more. And then I keep running it back. And next thing you know, I done ate the whole row. I done ate the whole row. Chips don't get me too tough, but I know a good dessert when I see one. All right. So now that we know what toxic habits are, let me be clear about what I mean when I say break free, because I'm not talking about you trying harder. I'm not talking about you saying, I'm just going to be better. I'm going to have more discipline. I'm going to have more willpower. Come on, Jerry. So the word break means, the dictionary definition of the word break means an interruption of continuity and uniformity. Okay? Continuity is just a fancy way to say things that have kept going the same. Things that have gone on unbroken, smooth, automatically, consistently over a period of time. That's all it means, that it's just been consistent and automatic over a period of time. Uniformity just means ain't nothing changed. It's still the same. Uniformity means every day looks like a rerun. Uniformity means same choices, same routine, same results. It's comfortable, but ain't nothing changed. So the word break means to interrupt that. To break free means to disrupt the old uniformity, the old routine. And breaking free means to step out of autopilot. All right. Stop just letting the day happen and start moving with intention. So breaking free looks like saying, today I'm going to choose differently. I know, I ain't worried about what I did last week. For some of us, it's Monday. I ain't worried about what I did this weekend. Today, I'm going to make a different choice. I'm not just going to do what I've always done because it's easy or it's more familiar or it's more comfortable to me. I'm going to interrupt. I'm going to break this story up on purpose. That's all you're saying. I'm going to interrupt this story. The story that says I'm going to be like this, that my January 2026 got to look just like or worse than my January 2025. I'm going to interrupt that story. I'm going to interrupt the story that say when I try on my outfits, okay, I'm going to interrupt the story to say I got to squeeze into them. I'm going to interrupt that story. I'm going to interrupt the story to say as soon as I wake up, I'm immediately slave to social media. I'm going to interrupt that story today. I'm going to interrupt the story to say I don't like water. I don't like drinking water. I'm going to interrupt that story today. I'm going to interrupt the story to say I don't have time to exercise. I'm so busy. I got these kids. I got to cook. I got to this. I got to that. I'm going to interrupt that story today. I'm going to interrupt the story. That's what break free means. So now notice I did not say breaking free means you will never struggle again. I ain't say that. Notice I did not say that breaking free means that you will be perfect from here on out. Notice I did not say that breaking free means that you will never be tempted ever again in life. Notice I ain't say you're going to stop liking the things you used to like. Breaking free just simply means I am refusing. I'm drawing a line in the sand that says I'm not going to be here no more because this is how it's always been. I'm saying that when you break free, you will say, I'm not going to settle for staying where I am just because everybody else is doing it. So when you hear me say break free from toxic habits, what I'm really saying is we're about to disrupt some old patterns. We're going to disrupt some old cycles, some old routines, and we're going to focus on doing it today. And then we're going to do it again tomorrow. And then we're going to do it again the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. We get so focused on wanting to have like the perfect week. This is where the whole I'm going to start on Monday mindset comes from. It comes from thinking like, ugh, I blew it. I ate it. I did it, whatever, this weekend. And on Monday, I'm going to get right. I'm going to be perfect. All right. And then as soon as you're imperfect, you say, oh, well, this day is gone. I might as well give me some Popeye's chicken. I already messed up today. I might as well go to Baskin Robbins. I mean, I already made a mistake. I might as well go get me some sesame chicken. All right? I'm just saying, we are so quick to just quit. But when you start making it your business to say every single day, listen, I'm going to disrupt this old foolishness that I used to do. What you do is you prove to yourself, you prove to your enemy, and you prove to your Heavenly Father that you understand that you are empowered to decide what you do next. I was on a call last week and the lady, I was coaching some mentees, and the lady was saying, listen, she was sharing me that, listen, I had no control. And I was traveling and everything was out of my control. It was just all out of my control. And I said, oh, well, did your husband? Because it was her husband. It was that man God gave her. Did he force your mouth open and shove the food in and he made you chew it? Like he did that? That's what he did. He forced you to eat it? She's like, no, but you know what I mean. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't. I do not. Because it's a choice. You chose it. So one of the first things you got to do when you get ready to break free is you got to tell the truth about it. You got to like you have to tell the truth about it so that you can say, I'm not gonna do that no more. So I told her, listen, you already on the trip and you back now. Ain't nothing we can do about it, okay? You back. Forget it. But we're gonna take ownership that we ate what we wanted to eat. We ate what we wanted to eat. It was more convenient, it was more comfortable because this is what everybody on the trip was doing, and this is where they went. All right. It was more comfortable. It was the convenient thing to do. We done it already. We're gonna own the fact that we chose to do it. Our husband didn't force us to do nothing. We chose to do it. We wanted it. All right. And now going forward, we ain't gonna do that no more. The next time you travel, you're gonna come up with a plan for what you're gonna do. Because you have the power to decide what you do next. So the more you disrupt the old patterns, then you prove to you, I don't just have to accept life and the way it has been. You can decide. We can decide. Will it always be convenient to decide? Absolutely not. I know that's right. Come on, Ken. Holy Spirit brought you over here, baby. Said, baby, I don't want none of that. I'm going on this live. You get the power to decide. So I don't want you to just hear all these words and these definitions that I'm giving you. I want you to really understand that I can tell you with no hesitation in my heart that it is possible for you to break through. Because I know somebody's saying, yeah, it's like I know. I didn't try to decide and I lose every time I try to decide. I'm telling you that without hesitation, it is possible for you to make the decision to break free. And I know because I did it. And God don't love me more than he love you. Okay? I want you to see that it's possible for you too. That the same God that grabbed my hand and walked me through my transition is waiting on you. The same one. I for sure know what it's like to be stuck trying to lose weight year after year after year after year after year after year. Trying this thing and that thing, thinking I'm doing something, only find out that didn't work either. Now I got to try another thing. And here we go. It's a new thing. This thing worked for a minute, but ultimately I'm back where I started. I'm worse off, wondering why I can't get a hold on this thing. I know how it feels. Okay. So let me go ahead and give y'all these steps. This is how I broke free. So the first thing that I had to do before I could do anything at all is I had to admit that I thought I knew. Like I had to admit that everything I thought I knew, and as much as I felt like I knew, because I thought I knew a little something. All right. So I believed I knew some stuff. All right. Hence the reason I was making my own yogurt. You do not, you know what I'm saying? Go to the store and get the ingredients to make your own yogurt if you don't think you know a thing or two about a thing or two. Okay. So I had to admit, I had to look myself in the mirror and say, as much as you think you know, as much as you believe that you got right, and how this thing is just going to require you to work harder, it's not working. Everything you think you're doing is right, it's not working. So at the end of the day, I had to say, you are losing in this area. I had to tell the truth to me. Okay, because I'm down here trying to do all the work. I'm like, I mean, I'm working. I'm mixing up shakes. I'm making yogurt. I got to know a thing or two about things. It's not working. I also had to tell the truth to me, but I had to tell the truth to God. I had to admit that as much as I was doing, right? Because I was doing a lot, y'all. One of my good friends on here, Kathy, is on here. She know I ain't just started running no marathon. Well, Rose says that I was complete marathon. She said I ain't run nothing. Okay. She said Tucker was just completing them, finishing them. Okay. But I had finished the marathons. So as much as I was doing, okay, what I was doing wasn't working. And the thing that I had to admit to God was that I couldn't do it without his help. That all of my efforts, my trying, and everything I was trying to do meant a hill of beans if I didn't invite him to do this thing with me. So now there's no more hiding behind my good intentions and the things I needed to do. I start asking him to help me with the little stuff. The 2 cookies in the middle of the Oreo tin. First of all, the Oreos being in the house. Lord, help me with this. Because my flesh want to buy these Oreos. And lie and say they for my kids. Okay, because that's the stuff I used to tell myself. How it end up in, I'm going to get this, but I'm going to get this for these children. And then before you know it. So I needed his help. Saying yes to everybody else, and I'm running on fumes. I had to ask him for help with telling myself I'm going to do better next week and then never doing it, never following through. I'd ask him for help with eating cake and cookies just because they're there. I'd ask for help for making the fact that everybody around me was doing it an acceptable reason for me to do it. I had to ask him for help for allowing my flesh to win more often than I walked in the spirit. And I say the flesh is just a part of us that want what we want, when we want it, where we want it, and who we want it with. All right. So I had to tell the truth. I had to get honest. I had to tell the whole truth to me and my Heavenly Father that, baby, I need some help. Okay. Next thing I had to do was I surrendered it. I prayed about it for real. Like for real. Not just God help me lose weight. Not just God help me lose 50 pounds so I can fit into 14. But the prayer became, God, show me what's the root of these habits. Like, what's the root of what I'm doing every day? Help me to see, like, what is it that I'm really running from? What's the real reason I do the stuff I do? What's the reason I start the week saying I'm going to do one thing and then end up doing? Help me with that. Help me dig into that. So when I did that, sometimes he would show me that I use food to make me feel comfortable. I use food to help me feel better. Sometimes it was about a hard conversation that I needed to have that I don't want to have. Some people don't like conflict. I don't like conflict because I do have, if you hurt my feelings, I can hulk up. Okay. So sometimes I avoid having a conversation so we don't have no hulk in there. But sometimes you got to have the conversation. So it means you got to grow in your communication so you can talk to the person, not eat the ice cream. So ask them for help with that. Show me how to say what needs to be said in love. And ask them for help with filling up this schedule with busyness instead of peace and productivity. Because I ain't never been no not busy person. I always been doing stuff. Okay. Has to ask him to help me with like needing validation from other people more than I needed him to lead. All right. Some people would be like, you ain't that big. They would tell me, girl, you're not that big. A lie. Don't care who tell it, okay? Because I was. All right. The third thing I had to do was I had to open myself up and allow myself to be held accountable. I told somebody what I was working on. Like, I'm not gonna keep struggling in private like I got it. So what I needed was a sister, I needed a coach, I needed a community that would check on me, check me, and pray with me, not just cheer for me. And God sent me all of that in one person. Ain't he good? But I had to ask him. So to open myself up and be vulnerable and say, I really don't know what I'm doing. I do need help. All right. The last thing I started doing was I started interrupting the pattern one day at a time. That's it. So if I catch myself reaching for the cookies, I would say, nope, not today. Baby, not today. All right. If I would hear that old, like negative voice be like, you've been doing this all week. You ain't lost no weight, girl. You know, you may well go ahead and have these cookies. I would speak what God said over it. And I would say I'm being transformed by the renewing of my mind every single day. And I'm not gonna lie and tell you I did it perfectly. Sometimes I made a mistake, I slipped up, but every day I tried again. Every day, whether it was I was perfect or not, I just showed up and I never gave up at that. And I still don't. I still don't. So the more I practiced this, the more I did it day after day after day after day after day, I looked up and I was light years away from where I started. The more I practiced it, the more free I became. And it didn't happen in a week. It didn't happen in 2 weeks. It didn't happen in a month. But every single interruption was proof to me, was proof to my enemy, and proof to my father that I'm not bound by what it used to look like. I'm not stuck there. It was proof that I'm not going to keep on bowing down to food, making food an idol. I'm not going to keep on letting my excuses be an idol. I'm not going to keep on allowing what feels good, what's comfortable to be. I'm going to keep bowing down to it. I'm going to act like I am who God says I am. And I'm going to do it again tomorrow. And so when I did that, God empowered me to make new choices. Hence, I started living like I am who God says I am. So the secret hack is, if you want to know how to break free from toxic habits, it starts with honesty, surrender, accountability, and being intentional every single day. One small break, one small interruption in your old habits at a time. That's how my journey, that's how my life changed. And it's how yours can too. So I want to know, who is like ready? Who's ready? Tell me, what's the one habit that you are willing to start to interrupt today? What's the one habit that you're willing to interrupt today? And if you know that you tried alone, okay, because God never intended us to do anything alone. So if you know you need a system with people who support you and a coach who will see more in you than you see in yourself, push you to be your best, make sure you're in the free community. All right. One of the things I learned in Dallas, I'm launching a challenge soon. And I'm walking you through what I did to lose my first 20 pounds, and I lost it in 30 days. Mind you now, it's been 5 years since I've seen those pounds and many more. So for a period of time, you'll have the opportunity for me to show you how to do the same. So if you aren't in the community, it's not dropping yet. Okay, I'm working, y'all. But if you're not in the community already, click the link in my bio and get in there. Okay? Get in there. So tell me in the chat, what's the one interruption? Just one. All right. Is it no more eating in the middle of the night? Okay. Come on now. Stopping at Jack in the Box. I love it. That's it. Doing things on your own. It's never God's intention. I don't know if you have one of my friends, Tiffany Haynes, she's my coach and she's my friend. One of my favorite people on the planet. She's has a series on YouTube called God's Math. If you ain't seen it, just hustle yourself on over there and be blessed. But she talks about the importance of coming into agreement and what God can do when we come into agreement with the right people for the right thing. So we're not supposed to be by ourselves. Nope, not at all. And the enemy would have you think that. The enemy would have you think that. So that's all I got, y'all. Listen, I love you to life. I am back. I'll be back here now. I don't know, this 4 o'clock got a little rough. We're going to say 4, but I may have to change the time. We're going to say 4. Okay. We're going to say 4. I'll be here every day. Okay. So I am about to head to the gym. I've got 20 minutes to get there. I have my workout clothes on, so all I got to do is throw my shoes on to get out the door. Here's my interruption. I'm going to say, okay, come on, Joyce, with the no more late night eating. I have not yet fallen in love with strength training, okay? So I'm also in week 2 of marathon training. So we'll be doing the Marine Corps Marathon, me and Rochelle, and anybody that wants to come. Rose putting together a group. I need her to probably go live and talk about it because we I think we run into with y'all. Like we're not gonna leave you. Like it's a not leave them kind of situation, but you got to be able to do it at a particular pace. And so we're in the second week of training for that. She never came out of training. She is has been training. Okay, since we did our last marathon in February, Ro has done March, April, May, and June. So she has done a marathon every month this year. Every month. So she is not in, I'm starting back, okay? And so I'm in my second week of marathon training and I'm also strength training. So one of the things I do is go back to my gym. So I do my run in the morning and I go back to the gym at 5:30 for a class called 360. I think it's called Club 360. It's like a strength cardio circuit situation. It's an hour long. And I love it. I've been having the most fun there. So I am headed back to the gym for 360, okay? Because it's what I do on Mondays now. Because I'm interrupting the pattern of skipping. Because I can do cardio all day. I'm interrupting the pattern of skipping strength training. All right. So I love y'all all the way to life. Do me a favor, make sure you are subscribed, turn on your notifications because YouTube be playing with me. And make sure you share this with anybody. If anything I said was a blessing to you, bless somebody else with the word. The more you share, the more YouTube says this is valuable and they put it in front of more people. So I love y'all to life and I'll see y'all tomorrow in the same place and at the same time. Have an amazing, amazing evening.